Hi, I'm Lesley Fightmaster for Poppy and Seed, and welcome to today's class on renewal. So today I thought we would work into a headstand because when you go upside down, all of the blood gets kind of moved around. You get sort of more going toward the head. It doesn't actually move there, but it feels like it does. And when you have that happening, some people think that it's a nice way to renew, plus it's a great way to change your perspective. So from here, let's bring the hands together, close your eyes a moment, take a breath, and I'll invite you to set an intention for your practice today. Maybe an intention about something in your life that you would like to feel some renewal around. And release the hands and let your eyes softly blink open. And let's make our way onto our knees. We're going to sit in Vajrasana with the hips on the heels. And then just going to do a little bit to warm up the shoulders. So first, ground down into your sit bones in toward the heels. And then imagine that you've got a weight right here where your hip creases are, and that's pressing down. And then from there, you're lifting away and growing taller. So lengthening through all four sides of the waist, reach the crown of the head up toward the ceiling, and then watch your shoulders. Make sure they're widening your collarbones. They're not coming forward, but they're going back. That's an important part of a headstand, is making sure that, I'll show you, these bottom tips of the shoulder blades are moving toward the chest. Instead of moving away, they're moving forward, okay? You want to have that happen before you come up into a headstand, and I'll show you how you can know, okay? So, but first, sit up nice and tall. Inhale, sweep your arms out, around, and up, making sure that your ribs are pulling in and the spine is lengthening in the back. As you exhale, come halfway down, and then bring your right arm on top of your left arm. Either touch the backs of your hands or your shoulders, or maybe you can wrap around and touch your palms. Anything works. So right now, we're stretching the shoulders. So they're actually moving, the shoulder blades are moving away from each other in the opposite direction that they will when we're doing our headstand, but we're getting them warmed up. So just take a couple breaths here. And undo that. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Keeping the ribs in, lengthening the back. Exhale the arms halfway down. Now left on top of right. And again, backs of the hands touch your shoulders or palms. Lift the elbows up, shoulder blades moving down a little bit, and breathing here. These are Garudasana arms, eagle arms. Let's take 2 more breaths. Allow any tension around your neck and your jaw to release. And let's release that. Coming forward. So let's bring the wrists under the shoulders and the knees under the hips. I do this one a lot because it's a great way to warm up the spine, but in this case, it's going to be a great way to feel our shoulder blades moving in toward each other and toward the chest. So on your inhale, pull your belly in, bring your chest forward through the gates of the arms. So now the chest is coming forward. There's a little arch in the low back, but not too much. Try to bring the arch in the upper back. And then exhale, go the opposite direction. And again, inhale, bring the chest forward, move the shoulder blades toward your waist. Exhale, round. And once more, inhale. Chest forward, widen the collarbones. Exhale, round the back. And then come to neutral. Walk your hands forward about a handprint. Tuck the toes, make your way into downward facing dog. And then for this first one, just bicycle the legs. Bend one knee and the other. Just allowing yourself to settle into your down dog. Just slowly settling in. Now, start to come into your downward facing dog. Notice if you can bring your chest back toward your thighs. Maybe you can. Maybe your upper back is a little bit rounded in this one. If you find that your upper back is a little bit rounded in this one, that is an indicator that we're not going to have you go up into a headstand today. Okay, so that's one indicator. So, see if you can bend the knees, get your belly toward the thighs, stretch your chest back toward the thighs, and then start to reach the heels down. We want to make sure that your outer upper arms, your triceps are wrapping back. Your biceps are spinning forward. And ideally, you're getting as much length through the spine as you can, reaching the heels toward the floor, though they don't have to touch. And then inhale, come forward into plank. So this is another way we can know whether or not we're ready to go upside down. If you're in plank pose and your lower back is drooping down and you can't keep it lifted, probably not ready to go upside down yet, because we need the core muscles to be able to go into a headstand. But you are welcome to put your knees down if you need to, and especially if your back is arching. We'll put the knees down. Okay. Shift forward, lower all the way down on your exhale. Untuck the toes. Inhale for cobra. Peel the chest up. Pull your hands toward your heels. Pick up your belly a little bit. This is another nice pose where the shoulder blades move in toward each other and press forward toward the chest. And then exhale back into down dog. Take a breath in here. Exhale it out. Bend the knees and look up. Step or hop your feet to the hands. Inhale, lengthen the spine, look up halfway. Exhale, fold. Press through the feet with a long spine. Come all the way up. Sweep the arms out, around, and up. Pause here at the top. This is another way you can know whether or not your shoulders are quite ready for going upside down. If your hands are in front of you and they won't go up by the ears without throwing your ribs out and arching your low back, then your shoulders might be too tight. And then exhale to Samastitihi. So it's also really important to find our Tadasana here, because basically, if I take my hands like I would for a headstand and I do this, I'm in a headstand. This is what it looks like upside down. Ideally, it looks just like this when I'm upside down. Doesn't look like this. Doesn't look, you get it. So anyway, we're going to stand up nice and tall. Make sure that the feet are pressing down evenly. The inner thighs will spin back. The tailbone will reach toward the heels. Same as when you're upside down, except that your tailbone will reach up toward your heels. Lift your belly. Pull your ribs in. Widen the collarbones. And again, these shoulder blades are going to move in toward each other and forward toward the chest to widen the collarbones. And that's our Tadasana. And we want to be just like this in our headstand. So we'll do a little bit of warm-up with Surya Namaskara A. Inhale the arms up. Watch those ribs. Pull them in. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the palms, step into plank. So again, a nice plank without letting your belly drop down. Shift forward, chaturanga. Knees can be up or down. Inhale, either little cobra or up dog. Thighs and knees off the floor and up dog. Exhale, down dog. Couple breaths here. And one more breath in. Exhale it out, look up, bend the knees, either step the feet or you could hop if you want to. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold, bend the knees as needed. Press through the feet, rise up, inhaling, stretch up. And exhale, Samastitihi. One more time, this time I'm gonna jump back. I'm gonna land with my elbows bent in chaturanga. Not straight arms, bent arms. Belly lifts so that the low back doesn't arch. You don't have to jump, but if you do, bend those elbows. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale halfway. Exhale, chaturanga, step or float. Inhale, press up. And exhale back. Adding on, right leg up, inhale. Exhale, step it right in the middle of the hands, back foot flat. Inhale for warrior two. Make sure you're lined up front heel and back arch. Knees over the ankle. This back leg is pressing straight back and the inner thighs lifting. And then swarm the shoulders again. So interlace the fingers, or you can hook your thumbs. Inhale, open up the chest. Exhale, coming forward. Right shoulder toward the right knee, any amount. Let your head hang down for a moment. Keep pressing through the outer edge of the back foot. And then come on up on your inhale. Arms out on the exhale. Reverse on the inhale. Bend the front knee. Inhale up. Exhale, windmill the arms down and step back through chaturanga. Inhale. And exhale back. Left leg up, inhale. Exhale, step it right in the middle of the hands. Spin the back heel flat so you're lined up heel to arch. Come on up on your inhale. Double check to make sure you're lined up. Knees over the ankle. Gaze over your fingertips. Your front hip's moving down, back thigh moves back. And then we'll interlace the fingers behind the back. Other pinky on top. Inhale, open the chest, or other thumb on top if you're hooking thumbs. Exhale, come forward. Let your head hang down. Press through the outer edge of the back foot. Keep weight in the back leg because you're shifting your weight forward. So we want to ground down through the back leg as much as you can. And inhale, come on up. Exhale the arms out. Reverse your warrior. Drop the right arm. Bend the left knee. Inhale, back up. Exhale, windmill the arms down. And step back through chaturanga. Inhale to press up. And exhale back. From here, let's walk the hands back to the feet. And just take a forward fold. Bend the knees here if you need to. And gently rock side to side. Just a couple breaths. Make sure your inhales and your exhales are equal in length. If they're not, take a child's pose and rest for a little bit. And then we'll walk back into down dog. And right leg up again on your inhale. This time we'll lift it from the inner thigh, making sure the hips are nice and level. Pause here just a moment. Pull the ribs and belly in. Exhale, step it up by your right hand. Stay on the ball of your back foot as you come into a high lunge crescent. So first, bend the back knee a little. Drop the tailbone down. Lift your hip points up. Excuse me. Pull the right hip back and then straighten through the back leg. Now we're going to add our arms in Gomukhasana. Oh, I said Gomukhasana earlier, didn't I? No, I didn't. Gomukhasana arms, for real. Bend your right elbow. So right elbow, I'll just show you from behind. Right hand toward the upper back. Left arm out, thumb facing down. And clasp your hands. If you don't clasp your hands, grab your shirt. Grab a towel, whatever you have. Roll your left shoulder back. And spin your right tricep forward so the right elbow is straight up toward the ceiling. Take 2 more breaths. This right arm, this top arm, it's in the same position almost that we'll have it when we get into our headstand. And then reach up, exhale, hands down, step back to down dog. Left leg up, inhale. Lift it from the inner thigh, pause a moment. So we're just practicing not letting the hip open up, level hips. And then looking forward, step it up. Stay on the ball of the back foot. Come on up into crescent. And again, we'll bend the back knee. Drop the tailbone. Your frontal hip points will lift up towards your lower ribs. Make that space a little smaller. And then straighten through that back leg. Get the left knee over the ankle. And breathe. And we'll add the arms. So bending your left elbow, left hand toward the upper back, right arm out, thumb down. Sweep it behind, clasp hands, or hold your shirt or use a towel or a strap. Roll your right shoulder back. Lift your left arm up, spinning the tricep in towards your face. And again, that left arm will be very similar to when it will be when we are in our headstand. Inhale the arms up. Exhale the hands down. Come into downward facing dog. And then take your knees to the floor. We're going to practice dolphin pose, which is another good indicator of whether or not you should go all the way upside down. Interlace your fingers. Take the pinky, though, and make it flush with the other pinky so you're not going to squish the bottom pinky down. And take your elbows to the floor. Make sure your elbows are lined up right under your shoulders. Then, tuck your toes under and lift your knees and press up and back like you would for a down dog, except you're on your forearms instead of your hands. Now, just like in down dog, if that upper back is a little bit rounded and you can't get the shoulder blades to move back in toward the chest, then it's better to not go upside down in a headstand yet. You can stay in the prep pose, which I'll show you in a moment. Take one more breath here. And take the knees down to rest. So we'll do that one more time in a moment. But we'll add dolphin plank, and that'll get our core woken up and ready to go into a headstand. Setting up again. Elbows no wider than the shoulders. Tuck the toes, lift up and back into dolphin, just like before. Only this time, step back about a foot and inhale to come into dolphin plank. Now we'll step the feet together and just gently squeeze the outer hips and inner thighs. Pull your belly in. Don't let the head drop down. Reach the crown of the head forward. 3, 2, and 1. Walk the feet back in, hips up, and then knees down to rest. Child's pose. So take a couple more breaths in your child's pose. And then look forward. I want to show you something with the shoulders that's important for a headstand. A couple things. First of all, it's important to put the very crown of your head onto the floor. So this is the way that I was taught. Seems silly, but it works. Stick your thumbs in your ears. And then bring your middle fingers together at the top of your head. Right there. Now, thumb on your nose, thumb on the back of the head should intersect. Okay? That's the part of the head that you want on the floor. It's important because it keeps your neck safe. If it's too far forward or too far back, then your neck is at risk. Okay? So that's the first thing. Second thing is that we only want about 30% of the weight on the head, and the rest is on the arms and the shoulders. Okay? So we don't want to put all the weight on our head. So how do we do that? That's what I'll show you next. So we'll interlace the fingers, setting up like we will for headstand. I'm just going to show you this way so that you can see my shoulders. And put the crown of my head onto the floor, tuck the toes, lift the knees. Now watch my shoulders. Right now, all the weight's on my head. Now I'm pressing down into the elbows and forearms and lifting the shoulders up away from the floor. Even so, I could just press my head right off the floor. Okay? So practice that for a moment. Interlace your fingers. Put the very crown of your head onto the floor. The back of your head will rest in the back of your hands. Then, with the crown of your head on the floor, tuck your toes and lift your knees up. So now you're in dolphin with the crown of your head on the floor. Then, see what it feels like to allow all the weight onto the crown of your head. Now, press firmly into the razor edge of your forearm, your pinky, your inner onto your elbow, and then lift the shoulders away from the floor up toward the ceiling. See if you can press down so much and lift the shoulders so much that you can get your head right off the floor. Did it work? Okay, if it did, you are ready to go upside down. So find a wall near you. This is an important part of it too, because it's hard to go upside down in headstand without a wall when you're first learning. So I'm going to slide my mat right over here to the wall. Interlace the fingers just like before. Knuckles touch the wall, crown of the head down, tuck the toes, lift the knees up. Then, without flinging myself up, I'm going to lift one leg up as high as I can. The other one will start to come off the floor, find the wall, and lift the other leg up. I'm going to press into the elbows and the forearms so much I can lift my head up off the floor. You don't have to do that, but I could. So we want to make sure that we're not putting too much weight on the crown of the head. Pull the belly in, reach the tailbone up toward the heels. Maybe if you're balanced, you can take your feet off the wall. Otherwise, keep your feet on the wall. To come out, start to bend your knees, and then take one foot down and the other, and take a child's pose right away. So don't come up at all, just a child's pose first. Now, let's say you went up into that and it was super easy for you and you'd like a little more of a challenge. I'm going to set up the same way, except instead of having my knuckles right up against the wall, I'm going to have about that much space. This is a good exercise for your core muscles. So tuck the toes, lift the knees. I'm going to bring my hips a little bit forward. Then I'll bend my knees, taking the feet off the floor. Then point the knees straight up to the ceiling. And then feet together, start to lift the legs up. Same thing, pressing down onto the elbows and the forearms to lift the head away from the floor gently. Can stay on, but just not too much weight. And then to come down, you'll come down the same way. So start to bend the knees, heels toward your hips. Then start to bring the knees down. See how slow you can go before you touch the floor with your legs. And then child's pose right away to rest. And then I'll move my mat a little bit away from the wall again. And let's come into downward facing dog. So this is important because we want to release the head and neck a little. So in your down dog, just slightly nod your head yes. Move your head from side to side. And then looking forward, we'll come through and sit. Lie down for bridge pose. This is another good counter pose after going upside down. So feet hips width, heels under knees, arms by your sides. Press into the heels and lift. Lift the hips, low back, mid back, maybe upper back. Keep the chin away from the chest. Interlace the fingers, roll the shoulders under, or keep the palms flat. And breathe. Keep reaching the tailbone toward the backs of the knees. Inner thighs spiral down. Just going to take 3 more breaths. So we're just going to do one of these today. And then release. And hug the knees in. Rock a little side to side. Then keep your right knee pulling in. Extend the left leg out. Take the right knee over and twist. Just a couple breaths here. And then back to center. Left knee into the chest. Extend the right leg out. And twist. Get over the right side. Look over your left shoulder. And back to center. Tailbones lengthening toward the heels. Shoulder blades moving toward the waist. And let your feet just flop open, arms by your sides, palms faced up, and close your eyes and rest. Just a few moments in Shavasana. Take a long breath in. Exhale it out. Start to make some movements in your fingers and your toes and your hands and your feet. Stretch through your arms and your legs. And bending your knees, roll to your right side. Pausing a moment for gratitude for all of our blessings. And then with your left hand, press yourself up to seated. Sit up nice and tall. Let's bring our hands together in Anjali Mudra. Let's bring the hands to the forehead, reminding us to have clear and loving thoughts. Our hands to the heart center, reminding us to have clear and loving intentions. And our hands to the mouth, reminding us to have clear and loving communications. Sending out this nice positive energy we created to all beings everywhere. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Lesley Fightmaster with Poppy and Seed. You can also go to fightmasteryoga.com if you like. And I hope that you are feeling renewed after going upside down in your headstand today. Have a wonderful day. Hope to see you next time. Bye.